Hello again. Some of you out there already recognise the picture on the screen behind me here.
For the rest of you, where have they seen it, I hear you ask?
Well, almost a couple of weeks ago now, Katz and I were contacted by a reporter from the Sydney Morning Herald, which is an Australian newspaper, as you might have guessed. So we were interviewed about YouTube and about how we met and our relationship and how all that evolved. And it went to print yesterday. For those of you without access to this particular newspaper, it is on their website, so you can actually head over there and check out the article and see what they made of us. I'll put the link over here in the description for you. It's starting to get more attention from the press as well. I've already been contacted by another newspaper in Singapore, also been contacted by one of the Australian women's magazines. But that ought to be interesting because I suspect it'll be a very different type of interview than what we went through with the Sydney Morning Herald, which was done by one of their technology writers. A women's magazine interview is bound to be just a little bit different, I suspect. So, it should be fun. Okay, a few additional comments about the last video I put up where I talked a little bit about the recurring faults that YouTube have and the server errors and all that sort of garbage. I got a response from a couple of different people basically saying the same thing. To paraphrase these various messages,
Dude, YouTube is free, so what if it's got a few problems? It's free. What are you complaining about? It's free.
I can see where you're trying to come from with this, people, but you're wrong.
Read my lips. You are wrong.
YouTube is free to use. It's free for you and me to use. So insofar as that goes, it's a free service provided to us. But it ain't free. It costs money to run. It costs a lot of money to run. And the people who run it want to actually make some of this money they're spending back. That's generally the whole point of creating a business like this, to make money. Or at the very least break even and become famous and use that as a springboard to do other projects down the track. Go, oh, we're the YouTube people, this is our new project and we're going to make billions of dollars on that instead. And here's the kicker. If you do put out a service that is free to use, but it's so riddled with bugs that it just annoys everybody who tries to use it,
You're not really impressing anybody. And as I alluded to a couple of videos ago, if someone comes out with a better service that doesn't have these problems and is just as free to use, people might start moving away.
And strictly speaking, while we don't actually take any money out of our pockets and pay it to the YouTube people for using this service, it's not really free in the sense that we view advertising, and presumably some people out there actually click on this advertising, and that advertising revenue helps pay for the service as well. Just like free-to-air television is free for you to use, but you're actually paying for it by viewing advertisements. That's the way advertisements work. See?
Are you following me?
Boiling this all down, free for us to use pretty much, but these guys are trying to turn this into a viable and profitable business, and you just can't do that very well if the service you're providing is not that great. Now, don't get me wrong, the idea behind what YouTube is doing is brilliant. I love it. I love this site. Bringing communities together, sharing videos back and forth and all that sort of garbage. You've heard me talk about this before. But when you get all these problems when you try and communicate with other people on here, like the server 500 errors you get when you try and message people, leave comments and broadcast bulletins and all that sort of stuff, you're just slicing away at the tendon at the Achilles heel. Duh! So what I'm trying to get at here is, just because the service is free for me to use, doesn't mean I don't have a right to complain about it when things don't go the way they should. Which is basically what you guys are saying, well, it's a free service, what are you bitching about? Are trying to communicate to me.
I'll use the free-to-air television example again. Free-to-air TV, free for you to view, no worries, you see a few ads. But would it stop you complaining if, in the middle of your favourite show, the station routinely and often cut out? Sitting there trying to watch The Simpsons, having a good old laugh at Homer being stupid, and all of a sudden the signal goes dead for 3 minutes, and then comes back up, and 30 seconds later the signal goes down again. And that would make it a very frustrating use of your time. If this kept up all the time, you wouldn't bother watching that particular channel anymore, would you? And chances are better than even that a lot of people out there would write to the station, this station that provides you with a service for free,
and complain about the crappy service they're getting.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I went on a little longer in that rant than I originally planned to. I guess I just sort of got on a roll there. But I wanted to show you another clip of Ian doing his musical thing, because everyone responded really well to the music clip I put on one of my other videos, so I thought I'd share something else with you that I took before he played that gig when he was just warming up in his house. Again, the sound and vision aren't that great, but the sound is of course a little better in this clip because there was no pub noise. Hopefully you'll be able to get an even better sense of how good this guy can sound. Before I roll the clip, his name is pronounced Ian Murtagh. Someone asked me. Here's Ian.
Kinda sad, but I feel alright. 'Cause you won't see, don't throw away. That was good. I like that song.